What's up, guys? My name is Devon Fedrick and I am a mass communications major with a focus on broadcast journalism, and I attend Southern University and A&M College. The purpose behind this documentary was to let people know what it's like to actually be on the campus of an HBCU, because I feel like a lot of people's perspective is based on what they saw on TV shows and maybe movies, and it's not that those things aren't true, but I feel like they didn't dive deep enough. So what you're gonna see are interviews from teachers and students, and they're gonna let you know what their day-to-day life is like, what their experiences have been, what their perspectives were when they got here versus where they are now. And hopefully by the end of this documentary, you'll have a better perspective, a more realistic perspective of what it's like to actually walk the campus of an HBCU. So without further ado, why are we here?
I came to Southern because I like the culture.
Well, for one, I'm a first generation, so I had a point to prove.
My brother went here.
And second, I wanted to go somewhere that had a family feel.
Some people may come from the same areas as you.
It just seems like it made sense.
I believe that they'll help you.
I just want to be a part of something great.
We struggle together, we be hungry together, we complain together, but we still make stuff happen.
Why HBCU? Well, it didn't really seem like there was any other option. We have an abundance of resources. I don't want to be negative and say that it's not an abundance, but I think the direction and like the focus is on what is important to us can be reevaluated. But also, I see a lot of change happening right before my eyes.
You know, growing up, I've always had to I wouldn't say role model, but follow in the footsteps of like people that came from HBCUs. For example, my mom, she was a graduate of Southern University back in the day. So it was really just being involved in HBCUs, going to Prairie View, going to Jackson State, you know, all those types of things. And then going to the Bayou Classic. So I was always like in love with the atmosphere.
I seen the band and I seen, you know, the different, you know, just variety of people they have here, you know, it drew me in.
Fall semester, I was ready to transfer, but my mom made me stay, and she said, you're gonna finish your 4 years. I used to cry like every day, like it was really bad, and she basically told me like, you're gonna stay, you're going to fight it through, because if you come home, it's not gonna be, you know, an experience. You need this experience so you can you'll appreciate it in the future, and it's gonna help build you. I will say that I will give back, because we need help. And instead of complaining about it, we do need to do something about it.
You have to give back, even if it's like 50, 75, whatever you can, kind of like how you tithe to a church, you tithe back to your school. Especially HBCUs, we're trying to build up Black people and prepare them for the world.
And I believe HBCU can make you believe that you can really be successful in anything you want to do.
Only at HBCU will you get teachers, professors, students that take the time to understand who you are, take the time to understand and give you the resources where you can reach those goals. And sometimes it's a grueling process. Sometimes you get professors that don't care. And sometimes you get professors that are like mothers.
I wanted to go somewhere that had a family feel, and when I got here, I just kind of felt that family reunion type feeling, you know.
I love Southern because I feel like I'm not the same person I was in high school, and I feel like I changed because I've been down here. I'm not from here, I'm from Michigan. So it was a big change coming from the city to the South. Everybody is different. So I don't know, I had to adapt, but I feel like I'm a more well-rounded person coming here.
I was confused. I really feel like I found myself when I came here. It's just different, like the vibe is different, you know. It's a sense of belonging.
And my first choice actually was LSU. And I went there for 2 years and majored in computer science. And the atmosphere just didn't fit. had friends here at Southern University, made a visit, and immediately felt like home. In my first class when I was at LSU, I never forget the professor saying, you know, it's a class of about 200 people in the auditorium. Don't ask me how to spell it, and don't ask me how to repeat it. And it's a biology class. I'm like, no, I don't think I can handle this. And when I got here, smaller classes, and the professors, if it wasn't me, I noticed they'd pull those students to the side and, you know, you need to come to class. Why are you not going to class? And how come you missing class? And how come you didn't turn this assignment in on time?
Why HBCU? I would recommend that anybody go to HBCU. That's an African American, you know, anybody. Just for the experience alone. The HBCU not only gears you for the real world, but it also prepares you for the professional world as well. I mean, Southern is my life. Just me thinking about how young I was and getting Southern in my life at such a tender age, it just gives me chills, man. And seeing that now that I graduated from here and now working here, it's just an honor and a privilege just for me to be here. My job now is the publications, graphics, and multimedia editor here in the Office of Student Media. I first started off as a student writer / photographer. Then I kind of got a, you know, promotion up to multimedia editor, and I guess, you know, the position and the transition that I brought here to the Office of Student Media, now Director Jermaine Proche, you know, he offered me a job opportunity. I couldn't turn it down. It was only right that I do that. But actually my job now is basically graphics for the office. That includes yearbook, magazine, now multimedia, and of course the Southern Digest. So we do a lot of videography work, we do a lot of graphic work, but for the most part, I think that just going out and communicating and reaching out to students is the best part of the job. This is not TV. This is the real world. Like I said, Southern is a great place. Along with saying that, Southern could be the most awful place if you're allowed to be. Once you come to HBCU, like I said, it prepares you for the real world. You have to decide if you want to be a student or you just want to be a party goer. So yeah, I think that's the best thing I can really tell anybody that wants to come to HBCU.
Shot, good boom. Shot, good boom, boom, boom. Shot, boom, boom. Shot, good boom. Shot, good boom, boom, boom. It was on November 17, 1911. 4 great men had a vision straight from heaven. Cool, work, grow, men, love, and just. I say start to this fraternity. Just for us, it goes boom. Shot, good boom. Shaka boom boom boom, shaka boom boom, shaka boom, shaka boom boom boom, and we pledge Omega with our hearts and our soul. I say just to earn the right to wear that purple and gold. It goes boom, shaka boom, shaka boom boom boom, shaka boom boom, shaka boom boom boom, shaka boom boom. And there you have it, the Beta Sigma Q's Omega Psi Phi. They don't get no better than this, man. They don't get no better than this. You heard me?
How things are run are definitely different. Like, you don't think about that stuff with my parents going and stuff like that. They just mention like the culture environment. But not necessarily the issues that HBCUs have. Like, of course, they're great to attend, but there's also some issues that need to be worked on, like just simply people giving back. You see PWIs flourishing and stuff like that because their alumni association consistently gives back. And I know for sure that neither of my grandmothers give back to Howard or Southern.
Southern, it's a good school. It's just, it needs a lot of work. In ways, it's they've developed, and in other ways, they digress.
taught at the University of Southern Mississippi, and I taught at Xavier University in New Orleans. Southern Mississippi is located in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, so that was a PWI. It was a rewarding experience. I enjoyed my stay there. I didn't stay long. I felt that I was making an impact at that university, at the school, as far as reaching the students and teaching them. But I didn't feel that connection that I feel at HBCU. You know, at HBCU, I instantaneously feel a connection with the students. Not saying that it was a bad experience, but just being honest with you, I didn't really have that real connection where I looked at students like, okay, you could be my son, or you could be my daughter. I didn't really experience that type of connection. The HBCU experience is still the same in which I was here back in the 80s, that we're going to educate the black youth, but we're also going to let the black youth know that we've been in your shoes. We're going to let the young black youth know that we've been down the road that you're traveling. In other words, it's an education / nurturing experience. In other words, we don't see you as just a number. We see you as a younger version of us. And when I look at a younger version of myself, I'm gonna go head and shoulders beyond the call of duty to make sure that everything that I have within me, I'm gonna try and pour that within you. I'm a realist. Teaching at HBCU, you gotta have thick skin. You can't have thin skin, especially when you teach at a public HBCU such as a Southern University or Jackson State or Alcorn University. Because once again, you're gonna get some students. You're gonna get some students who come from some difficult environments. And so you have to be able to understand that when a student comes from a difficult environment as an instructor, you gotta go beyond the call of duty to reach that kid. See, you can't look at that kid and say he can't learn or she can't learn, even though they come from a difficult, difficult background. You can't look at a kid and say, okay, they're from the south side of Chicago, nothing I can do with them. No, that kid from the south side of Chicago can learn just like anybody else. That kid from South Baton Rouge or that kid from Dixie or whatever neighborhood or whatever high school, hey, nobody's more intelligent than you. What you need to do is to understand that you are just as talented as anybody else. Now, once you understand that, what are you going to do about it?
I've learned life lessons. To me, Dr. Amos taught me a lot. As far as the culture-wise, he involved a lot of history with his teachings. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, like I like that. And I love his motivational speeches.
When students come to my office and they tell me that, because a lot of students that come in my office and they'll say, Dr. Amos, man, my first year or my first 2 years, I couldn't stand your guts. Man, I hated you, man. But see, when I see students mature, and then they'll come back 2-3 years later and they'll walk through that same door and they'll just say thank you. Because you saw something in me that I didn't see. And you can't put a price tag on it.
I mean, he probably don't know that, but like I really like that type of encouragement because we need that. We need to know about our ancestors and what they've done, how hard they worked to build a university like this so we can actually come to school. Like, I don't see myself ever talking down on the HBCU. Of course, we do have some bad administration, We like to kind of focus on stuff, like just let it slide, but fix it. Once you see a problem, fix it. Don't let it stay there. Once you see someone doing a bad job, just get someone else, or just make sure that they change the way that they go about doing things, because that's why we're in the predicament that we're in right now. They don't want to change, but we have to change in order to be better. We have to.
So I found that it's very gratifying to do that kind of work, to improve the education for a community that I care about. So even though I stumbled on it by chance, I found a calling and a very satisfying job. I just feel great that I go home and I say, okay, I've done something today.
What do you call this dance? We'll call that the fucking J. Take the J.
Oh, well, your mom just passed the camera, but it's recording. I'm rolling.
All right, so I just graduated, got my bachelor's. To my surprise, I done got gifted a brand new car. Oh, you guys shouldn't have.